I'd started a company, we lost the exclusive rights to our patent, and I didn't know what to do with my life. 85% of the homes I sold last year, over $2 million, were off market.
Wow. Welcome to the Elite 25 podcast, where we sit down with the verified top 1% of Austin real estate agents to hear about the housing market, how they became the best agents in Austin, their challenges, and their success stories. If you're interested in luxury real estate and insights from the hottest market in America, this is the show for you. Welcome to the Elite 25 podcast.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And welcome to Elite 25 as well.
Thank you. It's taken me a while to get here, but I'm sure happy to be here.
We're glad to have you. So tell us your name, who you work for, and how long have you been in real estate in Austin?
I'm Karen Kelly. I've been in real estate for 21 years, and I work for Heuven Properties for all 21 of those years.
Wow. How did you start with Heuven and get into real estate in general? 21 years with one company.
I know.
That's amazing.
It's unheard of.
Dave must be doing something right over there.
He's like my family.
I'm sure he is by now.
I moved to Austin 23 years ago to get my MBA at UT and didn't want to leave Austin. So I'd started a company. We lost the exclusive rights to our patent, and I didn't know what to do with my life. So I bought an around the world ticket, went around the world.
An around the world ticket. What's that? I've never heard of one of those.
You literally choose how many continents you want to go to and go all the way around the world.
Wow.
And stop at all the places along the way.
Okay.
And I thought that I would have an epiphany what I wanted to do with my life. I did not. So I got home, was helping one of my best friends find a house, ran into Dave, and he said, Karen, you'd be great at this. Why don't you come work for me?
Right.
And that's how I stumbled into real estate. 21
years in real estate. And did you always do luxury properties? Or tell us a little bit about sort of the transition of getting into real estate. Where did you start and how did you sort of find your way?
I was a downtown dweller. So during grad school at UT, I lived downtown. And so that was my natural path. I got my start selling some of the original condos in downtown Austin.
That's about right when they started selling. There were no there was a period where I think there was the Brown Building and maybe one or two other, right?
True.
Right. And so you probably got involved with the 360 and some of the other. Tell us a little bit about that and sort of learning the condo market and watching it grow here in Austin.
Well, at the time, there weren't very many buildings, so it was super easy to learn downtown condos.
Yeah.
And I remember when the 360 came online, we had to call and get reservations for all of our clients.
Right.
So I spent, I had 3 different phones going and had my friends calling all to get reservations to try to buy out the 360.
Yeah.
So
I was a preferred lender on that. I think that's the first time maybe you and I worked together.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that was interesting.
A long time ago. That dates us.
I think a lot of people cut their teeth because it was really the first big project in Austin. I remember that because we used to have to call. The hardest part about doing a mortgage loan was we had to track down the credit reports, and you literally had to call and get on the phone with the credit reporting agencies to have them make sure all the data was correct. This was in the early days of the internet and lending tree and all of that. But so the 360 got going. You kind of cut your teeth on condos. Did you stay in condos or stay mostly downtown? Or tell us about sort of the next decade of real estate for you.
Well, the natural progression for me, a lot of my clients at the time when I started in real estate were friends of mine from grad school. And so, as those people ended up getting married, wanting more space, they started wanting houses outside of downtown. And so that kind of became my new area of expertise. Yeah. So I started selling a lot in Travis Heights, Bolden, Rollingwood, Zilker,
so it started
Barton
spreading
Hills.
out from just the urban core. But you stayed active downtown.
I did.
I continue to see your name on condos and everything else around town. As far as working with a boutique firm or a Van Heuven Properties versus going with a Keller Williams or one of those, can you talk to us a little bit about sort of what's the difference and why did you end up staying with Van Heuven versus I'm sure there were a bunch of different agencies that have come hunting for you over the years.
Well, I always say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So Dave and I have a wonderful friendship and a wonderful working relationship.
Sure.
We have great colleagues there and we, bounce ideas off all day long. Yeah. And it feels like a family.
Yeah.
And so every time I think maybe I'll leave, it kind of brings me back to wanting that familial feeling.
Was there a time early in your career where you realized that sort of what you're doing and you're busy enough where you had to take the leap of faith to hire your first assistant? And talk to us a little bit about assistants. And do you have people helping you now, or is it, how do you manage all that you need to manage and juggle all that you're doing?
I have 2 assistants. When I started having kids, so probably about 8 years ago, is when I kind of decided I can't handle all this on my own.
Yeah.
Brought on an assistant. And then since then, my husband has retired from his tech career and also works as an assistant for me.
Okay, good. Well, I think Austin certainly can probably take orders from the boss as good as anybody.
I don't know that I'd recommend that, but
yeah. In your career over 21 years, was there a time where you went from being a rookie to sort of having that aha moment that, you know what, I think I might actually be pretty good at this and might be able to make maybe a 21-year career in Austin? My
career has been very slow and steady. And so I've just sold a little bit more every single year I've been in the business. I know that the real estate market is very cyclical, but my career has been very steady.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is because of all the relationships I've built over the years.
Working with friends makes it better.
Working with friends, it sure does.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the current state of the market. Are you finding that it's coming back, that it's dead, or it's sort of just slow and steady like it's been for you?
I think that recently, in the last month or two, we've seen definitely the market pick up in Austin.
Yeah.
And I think Austin has a unique blend of culture, nature, tech, and creativity that other cities just don't have.
Yeah.
And so we're always going to be a desirable place to live. And even though, we slowed down and corrected,
land, right?
They're not making any more.
Right. Right.
And really, I think what drives people to move to Austin is our quality of life. The quality of life here is A+. People want to live in Austin.
Yeah.
And I have friends from all over the world come visit, and they all leave saying, wow, you are really lucky that you live here.
Talk to us a little bit about when you have out-of-town buyers. Do you have specific, being here for 21 years, you probably saw the restaurant scene and every other scene in Austin change pretty dramatically. Do you have go-tos when somebody comes to Austin and doesn't really know what they want? Do they just kind of want to see Austin? Do you have sort of a taste of Austin featured by Karen Kelly?
Of course I do.
Will you share any of these with our audience?
Of course.
Okay.
If I had a full day with someone that I was going to show Austin to, I would start by having coffee at Joe's on South Congress. A lot of times you'll see celebrities there, and it's just a really fun spot to people watch.
Yeah.
And watch the world go by.
Where they have for our audience, in case they don't know, they've got a particular graffiti art down there.
They do.
Right.
And so tons of people stop and take their picture at the I Love You So Much mural.
Right.
And then I would walk down South Congress and go boot shopping and hat shopping at Allen's Boots and Heritage.
Yeah.
And then from there, I would come and have lunch at Perla's on the patio.
Okay.
They have one of the most magnificent oak trees, and I'm a tree person. So I love sitting under this tree. They have great music. The food's wonderful. Have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And then I would take them out to Lake Austin.
Yeah.
To me, life doesn't get better than, having lunch at Perla's and spending the afternoon on Lake Austin.
Yeah. One of the things that we like to ask all of our members is, if you had $10 million of your own money to spend and you had to spend it on residential real estate anywhere in the world, where would you spend it and how?
If I had $10 million, I would come to Lake Austin, no doubt. I think that the lifestyle on the lake is unmatchable anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I think that, right now it's where a majority of the trophy properties in Austin are.
Right.
A lot of the huge estates, and they're just not making any more Lake Austin property.
Yeah. I remember when I first went out on Lake Austin years ago, and a friend of mine had bought a house just on the other side of the bridge. And I think he spent something like $650,000 for a lakefront property.
Lucky guy.
Right around the corner. I remember thinking, man, if I ever had $650,000, that's a lot of money. But I think that property over by the ski shores, we were out on the boat yesterday looking at those properties. Talk to us a little bit about what you've seen in the Austin. You have to have seen the property values go through the roof, and how do you keep up to speed on all that you need to know to be effective in being a luxury real estate agent?
Well, I've seen a lot of people create lots of their wealth through real estate. And so I think that nothing's changed. The price point has changed, but the fundamentals are the same.
We also like to, as just sort of a fun question, we like to ask everybody, if we took away real estate, it was no longer on the table, and we also took away the need for money, and we said, okay, if you had a hobby or you had something that you enjoy doing in your spare time that you could somehow make a career out of, what might that be for you?
I would be a matchmaker.
A matchmacher. All right.
I've introduced 13 couples who've gotten married, and this is over the course of about 30 years.
You already are a matchmaker.
And one of my clients is marrying a friend of mine in 2 weeks.
Wow. All right. In luxury real estate, you always hear about deals that get close to the finish line and then something comes up and you're like, oh, wow, I don't know if this is actually going to go through. Have you had any of those transactions that maybe you felt like was going to fall apart and you were able to save it somehow?
I had a $4.5 million deal almost fall apart over a garage.
Wow.
I actually received the termination in my inbox. And then in order to try to salvage the deal, I got on the phone with my architect, my permit expediter, the city of Austin. We all got together on a conference call, found a solution. The buyer was happy with it, and we ended up able to put the deal back together.
How long did that take from the time that you got the termination and thought, uh-oh, this is dead, and then all of a sudden you got back to a closing table?
Well, I was really motivated, Tony. It took an afternoon.
Wow. Well, good for you. And good for your sellers and buyers.
Everybody was really excited.
I'm sure they were. Sounds like if you have the right team and you know all the people in Austin, then they might have done it, but without your help of putting the ingredients in that soup, we're not eating.
The matchmaker,
right?
If you will.
Yeah, that sounds like a big part of your business. So that kind of leads me to the next question: is in being in a member of Elite 25, I've found over the years that the thing that's most common amongst all our members is their authenticity, but they all have different characteristics that sort of might be considered their superpower. Yours, it sounds like, might be matchmaking, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. So you tell me, is there a couple characteristics that you feel like have led to your continued success in real estate?
I do. And I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's my relationships, and I've been in Austin almost 25 years. Yeah, so I know a lot of people. So a lot of what I do is just connect people. 85% of the homes I sold last year over $2 million were off market.
Wow. Can you say that again? 85% of the homes over 2 million never hit the market?
That I sold. Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? How'd you find out about them?
Well, I find out about a lot through networks like Elite 25.
Okay.
And just calling agents. I go on tons of tours. I tour properties all week long, probably 20 houses a week.
Wow.
And run into agents, talk to people when I'm touring around.
So this year, you're a rookie to Elite 25. Tell us what that means to you to be a part of this organization.
Well, it's taken me 21 years to get here, so I think it's extra sweet.
Yeah.
And I just feel very privileged and excited to be a part of this group.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you, and you certainly earned your way in here. We have a lot of celebrities and tech buyers and different people coming to Austin from time to time. Tell us, if you can, of any kind of crazy situations or requests that you've gotten from a buyer or a seller that you thought, that's one I've never heard before.
One of the strangest stories of my real estate career involved a famous professional athlete.
Cool.
And he wanted to change the street address of his house with the next door neighbor so that it would match his uniform number.
The street number. Yeah, I've never heard that one before. How did that go down?
Well, it didn't happen.
Okay.
But not from lack of trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think sometimes it's important to know you can't have everything in the world. so maybe that was a good lesson to learn for him. Very interesting. When you first got into real estate, going back 21 years ago, did you have a mentor? Did you have anybody in particular that sort of showed you the ropes? And if you were talking to a new agent right now, how would you recommend they find that person?
I've had several mentors over the years, and I started at the beginning of my career. I would say Dave Van Heuven was a mentor. Dave was known as Downtown Dave back in the day.
Sure.
And then I joined the Leadership Development Council at Real Estate Council of Boston and had a formal mentor through that program. And since then, I've had several people who I've just hit it off with and wanted to see my success. And so I've taken advantage of those. And now I'm trying to pass it down.
Well, the rookies need it. I know that. And last question, if you had any advice for a first-year rookie, Karen Kelly, who's getting her feet wet in the Austin real estate market, what would you tell yourself?
Really focus on the long game, not the short game.
Yeah.
And build those relationships long term. Don't focus on the short term.
Great. Thank you so much for being here today. If you want to hear more from Elite 25, be sure to subscribe to this show and find us on Instagram and TikTok. Tune in again next week for another interview with one of the top 1% real estate agents in the country.